Ryan Grubb is headed back to Tuscaloosa. And no, this is not circa 2024. You did not just wake up in a time machine. This is actually happening. A year after spending time in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks, Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer reuniting down in Titletown, and they finally got the quarterback to run the system too. This might make Alabama one of the most dangerous teams in college football next year. Let's break it all down. Welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. It's Cole Thompson here. Make sure you like the video, hit the ring notification, and of course, subscribe to the channel because we talk college football every single day. Download the podcast version of the show. Make sure that you're following us on all the social channels, link in the description. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson and check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. This episode is fueled by FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today on the action and get started with $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. So lay down $5, win that bet. You're going to win $200 in bonus bets in the process. What's not to love? Join in today on the madness with FANDUEL.com/SECU. Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer are the perfect pairing. They are not the odd couple. They're biscuits and gravy. They're bacon and eggs. They're the Joker and Batman together and at its finest. One of the big selling points for me when Nick Saban decided to ultimately step down as Alabama's head coach and Kalen DeBoer was named the successor and the heir apparent was he was going to have his right-hand man, the guy that knew him better than most, the dude who understood how to run this offense perfectly. And ultimately, that was the initial thought process when he didn't end up getting the job out in Washington. Comes on down to Tuscaloosa, is starting to tell recruits, I'm going to be your next OC. And ultimately, the NFL comes calling. And it's in Seattle where his family is already located. So he decides to stick around. And last season, overall, Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard as co-offensive coordinators, they managed. You had the game against Georgia. You had a couple of other victories. You went 9-4, but you had some stinkers as well. Offense finished 42nd in total yards, 56 in passing, and they went and they lost the game to Oklahoma, a very underwhelming Oklahoma team. And then the ReliaQuest Bowl appearance where Jalen Milroe was so codependent on being the quarterback, the turnovers ultimately cost them a shot to get 10 wins in year one. Alabama underachieved. That's fine. We kind of already expected that. But now Ryan Grubb is calling back in. And this is a good thing. These two have been connected with each other for years. They've been working together since 2007 when they were at the University of Sioux Falls, an NIAA school and DeBoer's alma mater. They later were assistants at Eastern Michigan. Then they were at Fresno State. Then he stuck around at Fresno State. And when he ultimately got the Washington job, he brought in Grubb to be his savant, be his play caller. And the results spoke volume. Not only was Washington the number 2 nationally rated passing offense in the country, they had a Heisman Trophy finalist in Michael Penix as a quarterback who had back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons, 2 1,000-yard receivers on this roster, whether it was Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan or Rome Odunze and Jalen Polk. They had a 1,000-yard rusher during the 2023 season in Dylan Johnson, and they had great tight end play and exceptional offensive line protection. All things that at times were missing last year in Tuscaloosa. Whether that's because of Kalen DeBoer was too busy on trying to just get the job done with Jamarcus Shepard and Nick Sheridan as the play caller, or because of they just didn't have the right personnel or they weren't lining up in the proper direction. Getting a guy like Grubb is like getting the perfect babysitter when you and the wife can go out whenever you see fit. You don't even have to make a phone call because if you understand they're in good hands. It's like Allstate. You already know that it's a perfect blend. If DeBoer has to go on a recruiting visit to go get a 5-star to guarantee himself into Tuscaloosa, Ryan Grubb can run the show, and it's a perfect pairing because they speak the same language. They're on the same wavelength. They have the same dialect. The results spoke volume over the last few years. Not only was this one of the most explosive offenses in 2023, it was balanced. Back-to-back 11-win seasons with a victory over Texas in the Alamo Bowl and then a victory in the Sugar Bowl. Wins over Dan Lanning twice in the biggest games of the year in the Pac-12 en route to going to a college football playoff appearance. And then to go play for a national championship with your right-hand man sitting in the booth calling the shots. That's what you want to see if you're in Tuscaloosa, where you know for a fact that everyone is on the same page. And now you have that. You still have Nick Sheridan on staff, and you still have Jamarcus Shepard on staff. 2 people and personnel members that you think are good to run your team. Just maybe not the best play callers because they didn't have the experience. Now you get the guy with the experience to come on in and reunite with the head coach just a year later. And ultimately, you also get the right quarterback in the building. I don't know what we're going to see from Ty Simpson or Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, the 5-star from Duncanville throughout spring. But I'll tell you this, they're a much better fit for Kalen DeBoer's system than Jalen Milroe was. And that now gives an upper hand for now Ryan Grubb to get his hands on him and get him prepared on what to look for. What is the install that you have to run? What are the personnels that you can and can't do that's only going to better your team for week one rolls around and you got to go play in Doak Campbell out in Tallahassee, Florida. You got the wide receivers. Ryan Williams, not only is he no longer 17 years old, but he's a year older and a year wiser as a route runner. One of the top 10 playmakers in the SEC for 2025. Not to mention, you also just brought in Isaiah Horton from Miami, and you have Jeremy Bernard, who already had a great understanding of the system before he ever touched down in Tuscaloosa because he was working with Ryan Grubb during his time when he was in Seattle. On top of all of that, you got running backs galore at your system, headlined by Jam Miller, who decided instead of going to the NFL draft, I'm going to stick around. I'm not going to go into the transfer portal. I believe I'm meant to be a member of the Crimson Tide, and I'm going to do everything possible to put myself in a position to where I get to be a part of that history alongside guys like Brian Robinson, Derrick Henry, Trent Richardson, Josh Jacobs, and countless others who have been in the Titletown USA committee before. You also are going to get a guy who understands offensive line communication, exceptional offensive line personnel. Last season, Alabama struggled to protect its quarterback. And I understand Jalen Milroe definitely mobile behind the line. When you finish 129th in total sacks allowed with 49, averaging 3.5 per game, that's inexcusable in the SEC, let alone down in Alabama. So you're getting a guy that was able to turn Washington's offensive line with lesser tier players into a Joe Moore award-winning unit. So add all that together, plus what you return defensively, with headline guys such as Deontay Lawson coming back from injury, Justin Jefferson, LT Overton, multiple defensive backs, including Bray Hubbard. Also, you bring back in Keon Sabb and Damani Jackson. You have a veteran core that should be the baseline for your team moving forward. And best of all, everyone is on the same page. Super Bowl 59, one game, two teams, endless possibilities. And there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether you're predicting the first touchdown, who will take home the MVP trophy, or the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to place your bets and feel the thrill of every moment. With live betting all game long, you can jump into the action, adjust your bets, and ride the wave of excitement from kickoff to the final whistle. Plus, to make the Super Bowl even sweeter, new customers can score $200 when you make your first bet. Just place a $5 bet, and if you win, you get $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head on over to FanDuel.com/SECU and bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. Disclaimer, must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus in DC. First online real money wager only, $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Okay, back to the show. This is a good thing for Alabama, and it's a scare for honestly everybody else, I think, in the world of college football. Because when you have a guy like Ryan Grubb, who helped your team finish second in passing yards, 12th in total offense, and 12th in scoring, averaging over 461 yards per game and over 42 points per game. And now he is in charge of helping you call plays. And it allows Kalen to take on over as the CEO role and just only be in charge of the daily duties of being an Alabama coach. Now you're in a good spot. Now you're in a direction to where everyone has the assignment, where Kalen DeBoer is not trying to get his offense coordinators and young guys that may eventually end up being really good play callers up to speed on what he wants. He already knows that Ryan Grubb can do that. He already knows what Ryan Grubb can say to sell a program and an identity about what this is going to do for the offense moving forward. This is good for recruiting because they speak the same language. They know what they need to make this offense work. And when you have a disciple like that and a right-hand man that is willing to also bring you back down to reality, you can have realistic expectations. I had no doubt that Alabama, because of the quarterback situation, another year with a more revamped offensive line, the weaponry, the personnel, a veteran defense all coming on back, this was going to be a team that could absolutely make noise and go on a run to the college football playoff, if not deep to the postseason next year. Now, you bring in the dude who has been the Little John to the Robin Hood. What are the goals? What is the realistic expectation For me, it's 10-2 in a college football playoff berth. No questions asked. If not a trip down to Atlanta, if not an SEC title underneath one arm, multiple wins against top 25 ranked teams, and then of course a couple of wins in the college football playoff to establish that you have gotten to that next peak. This is perfect for Alabama. If you are a Crimson Tide fan that had doubts or concerns or questions or qualms about what does the future entail for Kalen DeBoer at the helm, I hate to break it to you. This needs to ease all of those narratives pretty quickly because you're getting a guy that now is going to have the perfect assistant, the best friend, the best man, the guy that's going to make sure that you walk down the altar and are waiting there for your betrothed. The guy who is going to say, hey, you and the missus go out tonight. I got the kids. The guy who's going to make sure we're landing the right recruits. We're putting them in the right formations. We're putting them in the right install. We're making sure that they are lined up properly. The daily duties that we have, we're on the same page. If you got to handle something, you handle it. I got control here. That is why this hire is so phenomenal for Alabama. It had been in the works for a while. There were rumors and speculation that eventually Grubb was going to come down to Titletown. But ultimately, now that it is a finite detail, now that it's official, pen touches paper, it is signed, sealed, delivered, he's theirs. The rest of the SEC better watch out for Kalen DeBoer in 2025. Because of when you have somebody that you can truly trust, put everything, your entire heart and soul into a system, that makes you one of the most dangerous teams in college football. Kalen DeBoer has that. And I hate to break the bearer bad news. Alabama's not going down. It's only getting warmed up. Let me know in the comment section down below. What are your overall thoughts and initial reaction to Ryan Grubb joining forces with Kalen DeBoer down at Bryant-Denny Stadium for 2025? Like, review, hit subscribe. Make sure you're following us on all the social channels. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at SEC Unfiltered. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson and check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, folks, I am Cole Thompson. And roll Tide, Ryan Grubb. Welcome on back to Titletown. Peace.